Welcome to a new playthrough of CK3 with the newest Tours and Tournaments DLC. We are going to start off here in Cornwall with Petty King Arthur of Llywarch of Cornwall, and our goal. I think my personal type of playthrough style of playthrough is very much focused on the role-playing aspect, and so I think one of the biggest goals is to expand our dynasty and our family. However, I also think it would be interesting to see whether we are able to form the Empire of Britannia, and hopefully by putting on the throne our family members. So let's start with this game. Alright, so Petty King Arthur is temperate, diligent, and brave. He is simply an indulgent wastrel. I formed this character using the 400 points limit. I think his story is a story of just a very young boy who perhaps out of some sort of heroic deed was put in charge. And I would suggest that perhaps Cornwall right now is a rather undeveloped town. And so this new leader is rising up to lead his Cornish people into glory. You can see his stats are pretty well balanced, mainly focused on stewardship, learning, and martial, and he has good prowess as well. Now, in our first order of business, so apparently we have the Excalibur, so I suppose what we would want to achieve in this lifetime is to restore the kingdom of Cornwall. But that's still a long way to go. First thing we need to do is to choose a lifestyle focus. And being a indulgent wastrel, he is more likely to gain he will gain more experience in the stewardship lifestyle. So do we think that this person wants to focus on wealth, or focus on domain, or on duty? I think this person is more likely to focus on his people domain. Although, if I was min-maxing, I would definitely focus on the wealth. But since we are role-playing, is a person that works really hard to promote the welfare of his people. And this is sort of the backstory that we have started with. Alright, now let's look at the current situation. So we don't have a court physician. Our bishop doesn't like us. Right, we probably have to start swaying him. Let's start a sway scheme, right? Very hard at work, Arthur. And can station our men-at-arms, so apparently we have quite a few men-at-arms. So let's station them. Right, and the other issue is that we'll not be declaring war. Okay, we can create accolade and we have very few knights. Now let us look at our courtiers. Right. So as we can see, actually, our marshal has a pretty good stats. Uh, and we have 3 females at our court. So, as a very diligent person, I think that Arthur would go into the details of his realm, and he would want to populate his realm with equally equally competent people. So let's start marrying off our our courtiers. Um, so as we are lacking knights, this is something that we shall try to repopulate with. Let's also take the diligent planning decision. Let's start with that. And let's get our courtiers married as well. And it would be wonderful to have our courtiers bring some talented people into our court, as we were talking about earlier. So let us marry them off. To go, and let us start assigning our counselors to their jobs. So as we can see, currently they don't like us very much. Let's unpause, and we will have to see if they start liking us more. And hopefully Arthur's diligence and temperance will start impressing these people. Let's see. Okay, great. We have our knight here, and let's see if we can create an accolade. Vanguard and Stalwart is pretty good. Let's look if we have anything else. Stalwart, Valiant. Okay, let's just start with Vanguard and Stalwart then. Create accolade. Should we hold off? This will cost us 600 prestige. Okay, let's just wait for a moment. Okay. Oh, and before we go on, is there anyone we could marry? Okay. So Rich Warren looks really good. He's very smart. And they're similar age. That would be a great pairing. So why don't we give that a shot? Arthur is going to need all the help he gets. We won't have the money for a grand wedding, but let's begin. And while we are at it, let us keep an eye on what is happening over in Wessex. Currently, there is in the Sons of Lodbrok invasion of East Anglia, and there is the invasion of Northumberland. So we've just had our invitation of the first tournament. I think we are ready to have a go at this. And now that we have our wife here helping us, we can appoint her as the court physician, and hopefully, if we look at the realm here, actually we can increase that as well. Alright, if we go to the tournament, is there anyone we could hire? Not really. Okay, let's see. Who is my regent? So if we look at here, that was the panel that I was trying to choose. So yes, I think we would want my wife to be ruling in my stead. But at the moment, I'm going to put the Baron in charge of filling the coffers. And actually, before we begin, is there anything that we can build? We do have quite some money here. So I think Arthur will be very much focused on providing and the resources for his people and ensuring that his people are going to prosper. And so, I think forestry would be a good idea as opposed for, let's say, hunting for the nobility to be having their hobbies. So let us follow his journey now to the grand tournament in Utrecht in Netherlands. Okay, we have arrived. The recital, so let us go to the tourney grounds. Okay, so perhaps we should, knights, prove your keenness both sound and mind, both eye and mind. Because currently we are not qualified, but now that we've fired that, we are ready to qualify. Okay, let us have a start. Okay, so trumpets player, the masses whoop and holler. I ascend to the recital days, waving. A hush falls as I take a heroic stance. As my chest puffs, and my arms spread wide. I open my mouth, it's dry, it's very dry. I try to speak, but words won't come. Hundreds of eyes stare upon me. Why can't I speak? A knot in my stomach, unknown mere moments ago, tightens sickeningly, and the throng muttering gathers pace. Look, a three-headed monkey, ahem, as our forefathers once sang. Although I think that the petty king of Cornwall, not necessarily the person who is the funniest, I definitely could see him sing, ahem, our forefathers once sang, but he is also brave, so he's going to take that bet. See if his score increases slightly. Oh, okay. We weren't fooled. And now I'm stressed out. Lately feels like I'm constantly being distracted by lascivious thoughts and erotic fantasies. Okay, with all the hardships of my everyday life, it is all too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget about reality. These desires are clearly interfering with my life, but what should I do about them? So, perhaps a new view of God will help me convert to Paulicianism. Okay, maybe a different kind of outlet will help. I'll bite my lip and try to stay focused. I think that author recognizes that he can't be always so stressed in order to perform his duty for his people, so maybe a different kind of outlet will help. It only takes a few verses before murmurs start. Eberhard is up on the stage quite brazenly reciting lines from a popular local ditty. Discontented grumbles among the crowd begin as he continues. Something doesn't quite add up. Surely Eberhard wouldn't be familiar with that song, being as he is of Swabian stock. A small memory jumps to the forefront of my mind, unbidden. The labourer who had constructed the dais has been whistling the very tune earlier. Back on the stage, Eberhard meanders to a verbal halt as the crowd explodes with cheers, a few choice vegetables raining down on him as he shields himself from projectiles. Who is this Eberhard? He is a vassal in the kingdom of Lotharingia. So do I help him? Do I say boo? Or, well, this seems very unseemly. Well, I don't necessarily think that Arthur is a person that would randomly help an other vassal, and probably be slightly aloof and say, well, this is very unseemly. Okay. I am winning. Victory so close. There are few precious competitors left to go and even less time. All comes down to this one last verse. So close. Trumpets sound and crowd clamors. Competitors begin to assemble. The contest is over. Someone's limelight is being readied. A herald steps forward, a voice booming out across the scene. After many trials, some tribulations, and above all else, some truly spirited competition, we have our final three. In third place, the gutsy Count Eberhard. Coming in close second, petty King Arthur. That, of course, leaves us with our victor, Count Radbud of Holland. Second place, I suppose I can't complain. So close. I gained 75 prestige, $10, and Rima. Honestly, I think that is pretty good. My first contest, I got second place. That's wonderful. Oh no. He has been trying to embezzle money. I can revoke his title, and I shall do that, because he is mismanaging my domains. The sun is coming down on the final day of the tournament. Mass crowds began to disperse. I find myself ruminating over the results. Count Everard's mastery of first saw them as a worthy winner in a recital. I was unable to win a contest. I look forward to the next one. Good. I don't care anymore. I need to go back home. Because this Baron is embezzling money from me. As we sail towards the tavern, the fresh sea air is doing wonders for at least my health and well-being. However, we are not all so lucky. I've noticed how Marion has been deteriorating over the past few days. There's no doubt that he has contracted illness of some kind. Find a port for him? I think I know a cure. I can ask my wife to treat him. It's just a little cough. I think I'll just ask my wife, who is the physician, to treat him. On our way to Dorset, we appear to have stumbled into a local food market. Everywhere peasants and nobles of every culture and tongue clamor around exotic food stalls. They are thick with fragrances I never imagined. My nose is drawn to a lowly stall stacked with a dish I could only dream of. I'm pulled out of my haze by the halting grasp of Iona. Do not waste your palate on this slop, my lord. Bowls of stew are for peasants. We have much finer foods at home. So, do I want a finer food at home? Or I don't really understand why being temperate would lose stress. But I suppose nothing in this character says that is very common folk either. And I'm the petty king, I want my balls to. This sounds, quite aggressive and undignified, which is slightly unlike Arthur. Arthur, although he comes from the common folk, he is slightly more elevated. Okay, I guess out of these two options, I'll just go back home. In any event, I'm in a rush because I need to imprison this Baron. He will not let me imprison him. I will imprison him, although I think revoking his title would be more. Well, I'm not just either. So suppose I can just revoke his title. Goodbye. I need to appoint a new chancellor. So now I am in charge of both the barony and city, but honestly I don't really mind. Still trying to swing my bishop, but it's a good thing now my courtiers all like me. My knights are improving. I think it's time, now that we have revoked the title from that pesky Baron, we're quite happy. It's sometimes hard to find the motivation to remain consistent when exercising by myself. I could try to find myself a partner who then would not only motivate me on the bad days, but would also be someone that I can compare myself when tracking my own progress. What kind of companion would suit me the most? Someone I can look up to, someone to keep me on my toes, or perhaps someone I know I should never aspire to be. I think that he needs a companion. He is young, and he would want a friend and not a rival. So let's look up to Gordon, and he is now my companion. He's athletic too. How's my wife doing? She seems well. She looks well. She has very pretty green eyes. Oh, look at that. So he died on his horse. Alfred died on his horse while hunting, and now Alfred has ascended to the throne, and he just had his first son, which is Petra Alfredson. However, if we look into East Anglia, it would have seemed that history. Seeing that they have won the war somewhere around here, but they're winning over East Anglia. Good for them. Winter has come, and Arthur is now 18. Oh, the bishop has died. A new bishop likes him. Wonderful. Then I suppose I shall move on to swaying Petty King Alfred, as he is a direct neighbor. Okay, so apparently our courtier here is not married, so let's find her a good spouse. Okay, we have our first perk. Let's increase tax efficiency because we would like to build more buildings for our people. And I think as we have established, we are going to aim for trade port. I think that Arthur would recognize that Cornwall's advantages is their proximity to the sea, and building trade ports would really help. Okay, well, the north is really dumb, but he is a good knight, and let's find him a good spouse as well. Perhaps Benedicta here. She's Dutch. Right? Right, actually we can swap dollars out. Okay. Although Arthur does appreciate the service of the previous marshal, I think that he believes, as a very diligent person, meritocracy is the most important. Look, our wife has helped us gain stewardship lifestyle, and petty King Alfred is swayed. What is happening here over in Mercia? Oh no, Jorvik is attacking again, so perhaps ended in white piece. And Hastings is also landing in British Isles. Alright. I cannot help Mercia. We also don't have much men either. We don't have any player air, but we are just 18, so that's fine. I think that Arthur would not care much about Brittany at the moment. No, okay, I can work off more stress. Okay, Wolfnorth, okay, my newest knight. I'm in the middle of training when I spot Wolfnorth also exercising. I look up to him up and down. Not only does he appear in good health, but also in peak physical fitness. I would love to measure my prowess against his, but in what way? Should I take multiple factors into account if I should win, or strength, or mix that includes stamina and wits? So he has 16 powers, 15s. I don't think we should wrestle. Prowess and martials. Martials 7s are 14. Good. How about prowess and health? Certainly I am in better health than them. Focus on finishing. So let's start. Let's try. I think King Arthur is a bit of a nerd. Let's use his martial skill. Okay, I emerged victorious, and Wolfnorth is quite impressed. Wonderful. Yeah, and I have a new perk. Cutting cornerstones, I think. We would want our buildings to be cheaper. Certain defensive measures is important, considering that Montague has already successfully arrived on British Isles. I think another winter has passed, and we are now 21. I think an additional payment in recent trade, I find myself in possession of a large herd of cattle. I've ensured that the animals are of the highest quality, and the question of what should be done with them remains. 7 will prosper from the herd, 10 development growth, a larger 20 development growth. Well, how does that turn into quick profit? I think that Arthur would want to test his skill and successfully bring more prosperity to his people. Okay, and he would also have diligent planning again. Wow, so Jorvik just ate up Montague. What happened to Montague? Oh, he is literally back in over in France. So very interesting, the Battle of the Norsemen. To the contemptuous petty King Arthur have been corresponding with the Chancellor, cursed, and it's been a shameful diplomatic display. You're not the man I thought you were. Cursed? How could you? This has been some terrible misunderstanding. Of course, I thought we were becoming friends. I'm not going to spend prestige. I will not grovel. But I am trying to sway him my own way. Have a knight here, have a wife. And actually look at actually I think Arthur here would not be interested in cavalcade. We are not that interested in domain limit, but we would really want to improve. As our lands grow, we need a better way to keep track of what we own. Maintaining a ledger of our possessions will ensure that we always know what resources we have at our disposal, right? So he would really want to see his lands prosper now that the most basic buildings have been built, while hosting lords and ladies from the realms near and far. Some opportunities to portray petty King Albert Wessex in a good light has presented themselves. Pray, my lord, pray tell, who is the most chivalrous person you have ever heard of? Well, me, of course. Okay, I think we should increase our defensive measures in case any Vikings see us as juicy targets. Let's work off some stress again. This is not enough, I think to myself as I put down the training sword. I've been practicing non-stop, but I'm not getting tired. I need a tougher challenge. Yes, something bigger, or perhaps heavier. Something sure to tire me out. I'm not sure if Arthur is ready to commission a new sword for that expense which could be devoted into his land. While traveling across the forest in the earldom of Cornwall, I find a makeshift-looking stall by the side of the track. As I stop to take a look, a peasant by the name of Ilkham jumps into action, trying to convince me to buy one of the small cross carvings she has on sale. I make them by hand, my lord. Each one takes me hours of work. I shall buy one, I'll get a artifact, or I shall support local business for 50 years. I doubt it pays tax, or I shall talk to her and see what I can learn about salesmanship. I think she really has a lot of initiative. She can tell me a bit. Okay, okay. As we talked about earlier, the Vikings are coming, so then it's time to defend ourselves. Another council meeting, another conflict. Duchess Richwara and Stuart Crusader are arguing violently about the training regimen of the troops. The petty king I could silence them with a single word, but I had a better idea. My diplomatic pursuits have given me insight on how to handle situations to please everyone. Okay, I side with my wife, or Crusader, or I side something that makes everyone happy. Well, since I learned my skill, let's try, and I did arrange a good compromise. Okay, after this battle, we really have to now go and defend our other one. Let's stop them before they completely loot our lands. Victory. At victory at Devon. Look at our knights. Unfortunately, Io was killed, so we shall have to fight Gertrude, a new spouse. Werner, join us. Look at our knights. And we also wounded Bodva of Holland. And now we are about to win this Battle of Cornwall. Let's look at that. And we have captured $22 worth of loot. Look at kills. Okay, not anything special. Wonderful. This is why we've been training our knights. Let's look at King Alfred. He has a second son now. Alfred's son. And speaking of the devil, my wife is now pregnant. I wonder what our child would be like. I have been waiting for this moment. I got 24 years old. Now he is 8 years into his reign. It's about time. And now turn to his family instead of the realm. And I think we'll stop there after his first son or daughter is born. My daughter and heir. Ethel, marriage Arthur of Llywarch. May you grow strong and wise, my daughter, with a tart yet blissful smile, which represents me with a perfect little daughter. She looks like her mother. Does she have green eyes? She looks like she has green eyes. She really looks like her mother. The perfect little daughter. One day, my child, you will carry my legacy. What name will befit such a mighty lady? May you grow strong and wise, my daughter. Wonderful, and we have a new perk here. Okay. Let us upgrade this last building here. And I think we will call it a day. So, within 9 years, so slightly less than a decade, King Arthur has joined his first competition. He came second place in the poetry recital, and he has established his, well, council. It's not the best, but it's good enough. And he has really focused on the exports of his lands. He has built a lot of trade ports and utilized the timber in his lands. Besides, he has fought off 2 hordes of raiders, one of the Dutch Norsemen and another pack of Norsemen in Cornwall. And although there was the death of Iona, they were successfully able to defend their lands, their prospering lands, in fact. Meanwhile, Arthur's grown a lot as well. Arthur has learned how to manage his stress and also shared his love for exercise with Gotodor. And most importantly, now that he has settled into his reign, he and Richwara, this Swabian woman who is an astute intellectual, perfect companion for Arthur to teach him about the many ways of managing the lands, had a beautiful daughter, Eslit, who takes after her mother with blonde hair and green eyes. Thank you for joining me in this first episode with King Arthur, Petty King Arthur of Cornwall, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye!